And today we are going to make some delicious fruit balls. And here we have some delicious fruit balls when they're finished. Delicious. The first thing I'm going to do is grind up some carrots. And because I don't want these carrots to get icky and old in my fruit balls, in case I want to keep my fruit balls for a while, I'm going to add just a little bit of lemon juice, which has preservative qualities. You'll actually notice that if you put a little bit of lemon juice on top of cut apples or cut bananas, it will prevent them from browning. You can also try this on avocados, although I haven't personally tried it. I'm sure it'll have a similar effect. So I'm adding just a drizzle. Here we have our ground up carrot. Here we have some fancy mixed nuts from Trader Joe's. Now I'm going to pit a few dates. You'll notice if you've never had a date before, you might not realize that they have a pit on the inside. And you could just eat these dates as they are right now. Some people like to actually wash them and peel this outer layer that's on the outside. That's completely unnecessary for what we're going to do, so I'm not going to do it. I want all that wonderful fiber into what I'm making. These are some dried cherries from Whole Foods. And these here are some dried apricots I got from Trader Joe's. I've seen these even at gas stations. They're pretty easy to come by. Here we have some raw almond butters. So, depending on your own personal taste, you might want to consider how many prunes you want to use. I'm going to be using, about, I guess I'm using about 6 or 7 of them. Just kind of a guesstimation. One of my favorite elements is figs. However, it can also be one of the most fickle elements. It's very difficult to tell if a dried fig is actually going to taste good or not from looking at the outside. So with each and every fig, I'm actually going to cut it open. If these were fresh figs, it'd be a bit more obvious whether they were good or not. This is a good fig. It's got a nice jelly-like consistency. There's no excess blackening. I mean, this is a black fig, so it's supposed to be black on the outside. There's no excess blackening on the inside, so I'd say this is a good fig. And I'm very careful when I taste these that I do not add it to the bowl or the mixing mixture until I've done chewing it, because sometimes it'll taste fine and then it'll have a strange aftertaste. These figs here are all good figs. I've tasted these and every single one of them tasted fine. You'll notice the consistency of the inside is pretty uniform. It's pretty jelly-like, with a little emptiness sometimes in the center, sometimes not. Here we have some figs that are not good. This fig here is entirely too black in the center. That's like rot or something. I didn't even taste that to check. These two I thought they might be fine until I tasted them, and then they had funny aftertastes. In the food processor we have now the figs, dried cherries, dried apricots, prunes, and dates. And we're just going to chop these and hope that the world doesn't explode every time I press chop. This here is what your fruit stuff looks like when it's mixed into glop. We have our cocoa powder. We have our dried cherries and our dried currants. We have our grinded up carrots. We have our assorted mixed nuts that have been ground up. We have our cocoa powder overlaid with flax seeds and sesame seeds. We have our grinded up dried fruit. And we have our almond butter. We're going to take the cacao and we're going to tap a little bit onto our spreading area. Take the nuts, put them into our rolling area. Take some seeds, put them into our rolling area. You don't want to go too overboard on the flax and sesame seeds. They have a very potent flavor inside those little tiny seeds. Kind of bitter. And take our dried fruit, which is all really, really sticky, and gonna blend that all together. Rolling these balls is really easy. All you need to do is stick your hands in it essentially and mix it around. So I'm gonna get the carrots and I'm gonna stick them in here. And I love almond butter, so I'm going to use quite a bit of almond butter. There we have delicious scoop number 1. And here we have delicious scoop number 2. And then we're just going to fold the almond butter right into that. So here we have a nice sticky, tasty ball of fruit. And I'm going to put some nuts here. And I could blend these nuts into it, or I'm going to put them on the outside of this one. And we're going to roll it in the nuts and the seeds and the cacao powder. Well, dried cherry or currant, the center. And here we have a delicious fruit ball. This can be rolled just in nuts or just in cacao powder, which will be very bitter. So if you're doing that, you want to make the inside very sweet, which you would do by using a lot of dates. You do not need to add any sugar to this. This is 100% sugar-free. Refined sugar is worse for you than pretty much anything. And these can be made in any shape. They don't have to be made in perfect little balls. You can also make them in stick shape. Tasty goodness. Stick-like shape this time. And then, after forming it into the shape I want, I'm going to set it over here in the rolling thing. The rolling thing. Oh yeah, technical terms here, folks. And I'm going to roll that in our nuts and cacao and sesame and flax seeds. Lots and lots of enzymes, no refined sugar. Absolutely no breads or flours or pastas. Have no dairy. You'll notice all over your hands you have the stuff. Don't wash this off. Please lick it off. It's delicious. Tasty. I am at Raederle.blogspot.com. Raederle is spelled R-A-E-D-E-R-L-E, and that is my first name. Really, seriously, on my birth certificate, no kidding. So, yeah, go raw.